Yo, what is going on, everyone? We're loading in for the Hakkinen series, which I haven't changed yet, so I'm going to just change that now on everything. Miami, yeah, Hakkinen series Miami. Alright. This should be a fun one. Miami is a bit chaotic. Hopefully we have more people finishing than we did during the mantle race. Not that I can talk, because I was the cause of at least one person not finishing. My bad. Apologies to Snickers. I'll own up straight away. It was a bit of a weird game situation, but hopefully we don't see that tonight. So we got quite a grid going, I think, so far. We got like 13. We got some more people coming in a little bit late. Ooh, it's looking overcast and weird. Which is good. We like weird. Alright, we got movement from the Ferraris. Aladdin, I'm gonna have to unplug my controller, which is probably gonna freak my game out a bit. Either that or I'll just put it on the floor. Good choice, me. Alright, we're away. Aladdin out of the gates early. You know what? No, we're gonna unplug it. Who cares what the game thinks? Alright, we got Aladdin. So, places to watch out for is definitely this corner. It's a real tricky one. Really long, sweeping left-hander. A lot of people coming unstuck there. This big, long straight with the DRS, as we see Aladdin going through on their outlap. Into a pretty rough end of Sector 2. This bit will ride on board for this very tricky uphill over the curb chicane, and then a really tight left-hander all the way down to this back straight. So that is going to be the section where people are going to be losing or gaining quite a bit of time, I imagine. And then Sector 3 is just this straight and one corner, really, or two corners, so it's a bit of a weird one. Alright, let's have a look at Aladdin's lap, see how we go. Give us a good baseline. As always, if you're watching and you want to join in the chat, you know, do that. It's always fun to hear from you guys. Predictions. Who we think is going to do well. We, of course, have Sek, who is right at the back of the grid order at the moment. We're going to ride on board through this sweeping left-hander. So, as you can see there, Aladdin goes a little wide. It won't always punish you for that, though. It really depends on the speed you're taking through there. We do see somebody has spun off at that exact corner. I think it was Jake Karibo. Aladdin comes through this tricky end of Sector 2, and we're going to watch going over this chicane how they do in second. Very good. Really sends it over that second one, which is quick, but can also be a little unstable. So we might see people not taking that line so much during the race. Who knows, though. And then coming down, heavy braking zone. Tricky, tricky left-hander here, which opens up as you're putting the throttle down. It's very easy to spin there. Aladdin comes over with a 128.6. We'll check in with Noxie, who's next across the line. And we will see a 128.5, so very close so far. We've got Wild about to cross next with a 129.8, so a little bit off the pace, but that's okay. Jake Aribo obviously invalidated, so next we'll probably have Sek coming across the line with a 127.8. Jake Aribo's just started a lap, so we'll first check in with Snickers as they come around this very tricky section, which we should see probably some spins at. Snickers puts it up into second place with a 128.4. Very good stuff. Jake Aribo looks like has had another bit of a rough go of it in Sector 1 there, possibly at that same corner. As we head a little further down, we'll see Hazza Hawk just starting their lap. Ooh, hopefully not just starting it, because that is one empty ERS. And I think a little bit of contact on the wall there, so we might skip off Hazza for now. We'll check back in later. Ronaldinho is currently harvesting ERS, so nothing much to see here. Avanti, one of the cleanest drivers in Global Racing League, so we'll see how the last part of their lap goes. We might get a little look at this tricky left-hander. We'll see how Avanti is tackling it. So getting all the way over to the right, coming down into second, short shifting third, and it's right there when you're just in high third, low fourth. That's where the spins happen. And Avanti comes across with a 128.6, so that sort of mid to high 128 range is where most drivers look to be filtering in so far. We also have KC that's across the line with a 130.8. That was possibly something happened on that lap. Ronaldinho with the 36. Alright, Aussie Dude about to start a full lap. So we're going to ride on board. Good evening, Mr. Otter. Good evening, Mr. Caps. What is up? You on Smoko at work, aren't these hack drivers so lucky getting your beautiful commentary week? They are. They must be. Somebody's got to listen to me. So we see Aussie Dude there running that curve on the right. Not always the fastest move. Really depends on ride height, sort of the angle you take it at. Can be quick though. All the way down into second through here. Now, second through there is very risky. Ooh, and a bit of a spin, so we can see how tricky that uphill one is. And are we going to see a bit of an accident here? No, we are not. So Wild probably got the yellow flags, knew that something was up. So Aussie Dude with a bit of a moment, but recovered well, didn't take any damage. We'll probably be able to go again. So we can see the Hard Rock Stadium in the background there. What a terrible, terrible track this is. America ruining F1. Jokes, obviously. I mean, it's pretty good. It's better than what's that other one? Kota. Yeah. Anyway, Jake Aribo is back out again. This is a third attempt, I think. So let's follow through Sector 1, see if we can see a completed lap from them. Using that engine braking through here, you want to get all the way to the right and then power through the left. Slowly bleed off the power. Mounts that curb too, so we're seeing quite a few of the drivers mounting that curb. Like I say, it's not terrible, but sometimes it can unsettle the car, and you only need it to do that once for you to be just out. So third, Jake Aribo with the, I think, good choice of gears through there. Third, again, over that chicane, keeping it nice and stable. Getting on the power just a little late, not sure. Oh dear, Sek been disqualified for driving the wrong way. We've all been there. So there we go. Disqualified means he's all the way down in 14th now, so that is rough. So we see Jake Aribo very evenly putting the power on there with a 132.5. Also crossing the line is going to be Aladdin? Maybe? Yeah, so Aladdin's just starting one. So we can see Aladdin really pushing through here. The car is twitching. Lots of corrections on that steering. Using that engine brake and keeping it in 7th. Very nice through here. Very smooth. Down into 3rd. Is he going to clip that curb? No. So keeps it on the grey stuff, which I do think is probably the more consistent line. Obviously it swings it out wide here, coming up on some traffic that's noticed very nicely. We'll see what gears Aladdin chooses through here, so up into 5th there. 2nd cuts the entire chicane very nicely, gets all the way to the right to open up this exit. Purple middle sector there is quick on the throttle. Mr. Consistently. Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm here. I got no life. It's all good. Ooh. Okay. Aladdin really pushing everything out of this lap. Clips a little bit of the wall there. And it has cost him. Did improve, but only by... Wow, that's a cool place to park. Did improve by 9... Was it 9,000ths of a second? I'm not sure. That was a smooth parking spot from Aladdin. We're going to ride on board with Hazza Hawk, who's just finishing off their lap. We got Champagne Viking, Chase McSoup in the pits. Yeah, look, it was supposed to say consistency. Yeah, that's right, man. It's all good. I don't mind being Mr. Consistently. So Hazza comes across with a 30.9. We're also going to see Aussie Dude entering this final corner, one of the trickiest on this circuit. Crosses the line with a 128.9, so puts himself right in that 28 zone with the rest of the field. Ronaldinho now on this tricky left-hander. Mounts that curve on the left, which is always sketchy, but Ronaldinho managed to keep the car very, very stable through there. Coming down into this final part of Sector 2. We're going to see probably one of the nicest looking corners on the track. And then into this nightmare of a chicane with a sharp left hand. Very nice though, good exit. Puts it up into 4th. This could be a good lap here. Straight on the DRS. Ooh, very nice. Even mounts a little bit of the inside of that curb. And manages a 129.5. So takes about a second off of that. Gets a purple Sector 3. Which is huge. Big improvement there. Probably has some more time left in that lap as well, I imagine. With 3 minutes remaining, we might not... I'm all for a big showing from Mr. Ronaldinho. The man's copped some unlucky races lately. Has he? Yeah. I guess, was that the, was that Schumacher Miami? Or is that Mansell Miami? I'm pretty sure it was Miami, though. Is that when he hit the Hickey Cat, or drove into him when he was sideways on lap 1? That is pretty unlucky. Alright, we got Noxy in 2nd place. We've got a few joining late, so Vlad is also here. Still in the pits. 2 minutes remaining though, has the right amount of time to set a lap if they choose to. Champagne looking to go out, or is already out actually. Trying to warm those tyres up. We can see Ronaldinho, no, Avanti behind as well, doing the same. Down to 60% ERS though before the laps even started, so that is not ideal. I think you're better off turning that off, starting with 100%. I think the ERS is slightly less effective at below 10%, so you don't want to be crossing that threshold when you finish off your lap. Seems like Vlad won't be coming out. But a purple Sector 1 from Champagne. Noxy going up into 1st place. So provisional pole there for Noxy. We're going to have a look at Champagne's end of Sector 2. Doesn't run that curb to the left nearly enough, so leaving a lot of time on the board, and it's coming in a little hot onto that final left-hander before this straight, so sacrifices quite a bit of exit speed there. Using that curb on the left and the right to cross the line with a 130.5. And just up ahead we have Snickers, who is in the other Alpine, looking to reclaim that provisional pole. So we can see applying that throttle all the way through this left-hander, and then late onto the downshifts. Comes through there in 5th. Gets onto the straight, went a little bit deep into that corner, so has sacrificed just a tad of exit speed. We're going to see this final tricky part of Sector 2. So So we can see Snickers there mounting all of that curb on the left and basically running over the sausage curb in the middle there. Backs off though. So must have felt that there was not going to be an improvement. We have KC, who I believe is the last person on a legit lap. Come through there in first, which is very interesting. Surprised that they managed to keep it pointed the right way. And coming through the final corners, pops into the pits, of course, yeah. Just trolling me, I think. We got a double stack issue at Alpine, so they're going to be a while. We're getting there though. Come on lads, come back out, help him. So yeah, we're going for, well, we're hoping for a good result for Ronaldinho. We're hoping for some clean racing around here. It's a tricky track and can often lead to safety cars with the walls. So we hopefully won't see too many safety cars, but you can never tell. And as Alpine finally managed to get their cars back into the garage, we have our order. So Noxy on pole with a 128.2. Just behind that, Snickers on the front row 2. Avanti, Aladdin, Aussie Dude, Wild, KC, Ronaldinho, Hazza, and Champagne, the top 10. Then behind that, we only have Jake Aribo setting a time. And then some latecomers, Vlad, Chase McSoup, Viking obviously not setting a time, and Sek with the disqualification. So there we have our grid. So Noxy with a 2/10 gap in that qualifying, but I'm not sure that that's really the pace difference. I think Snickers was improving on that last lap, and just unfortunately couldn't string the whole thing together. We have some slightly dark looking clouds up there. So I believe weather is set to dynamic, so we might see some rain later in the session. You can never tell. Something to keep an eye out for. Alright, so our formation lap begins. And straight away we see Avanti lighten those tyres up with a burnout off the line, which I have a lot of respect for. If anyone saw the Mansell race at Spain, actually it might have even been the Schumacher race at Spain, I spun on the straight, but luckily HK just switched to another driver before they saw it. You can just see my car steering off into the wall. So, let's, before the race starts, let's bring up some deets. Let's bring up the telemetry. So, we have everyone on hards except for Snickers in second place and Jake Aribo in 11th on the mediums, and Champagne down in 10th on the soft compound tires. So these are probably going to do maybe 6 laps. So we can see the predicted strategy there. One stopper is going to be around lap 16 for the hard runners. For the mediums, it'll probably be more like 13. I think the hards will probably do a few more quite comfortably. For Champagne, though, we'll keep an eye on those soft tyres and we'll get a good idea of how long they're going to last. Probably no more than 8 or 9 laps, I would say, though. Snickers is really, really close to Noxie, which doesn't give you the chance to warm your tyres quite as much as you might like to. Noxie seems to have been doing quite a bit of weaving. Gets a bit of a burnout there. We're going to see quite a few of those, I imagine. Noxie's helmet's looking pretty nice, I gotta say. So Avanti there goes a little bit too close. Same with Aladdin. Snickers, though, and Noxie, we can check their positioning. Noxie angled a little bit more to the center. Snickers angled pretty much straight. Let's see how we go. We're going to watch Snickers on the start. Gets a good one. Noxie coming to cover it off, but we don't quite see all of it. We see some contact there. We see, was that, who was that? I don't know. I missed it. But contact with a, it must have been Avanti. So Avanti there, and safety car. Here we go. So, yeah, what happened there, I think, was Avanti came in up the inside, tapped one of the Ferraris. I think it might have been Aladdin, who finds himself up in third now. And, yeah, pretty much just spins, and then I'm not sure what happened. Maybe somebody made contact after the fact. The important thing is that Ronaldinho is safe. Now, the car looks fine, so it definitely wasn't Ronaldinho that made that initial contact. Snickers, though, has managed to work its way up into first, and on these medium tyres, that is absolutely critical. He's going to need to use the softer compound to gap the field and be able to make up for being on the softer compound. So Noxie is going to want to stay all over. I'm not sure how close they're running, actually. It did seem that Noxie was side by side there for a little bit, which is not usually a good idea. Couldn't quite tell, though. So Snickers is going to pick up the safety car. Who are we going to see in the pits? We're going to see Chase McSoup with a new wing. And Ronaldinho not with a new wing. So he's going to take the opportunity to... Okay. That seemed like that took a little longer than it should be. He's going to take the chance to swap compounds. So it's an interesting call. The hards have only done 1 lap, so at least this gets their compound change out of the way. But you don't have a second set of hards anyway, so it was always going to happen. Mediums will not go to the end. So I guess, yeah, I'm not really sure. I mean, they're at the back anyway. It's probably worth just throwing on some different tires, I guess. We'll see if it pays off for them. Snickers is all over this safety car, though. You gotta respect that. So, we might see it in this lap, but we could be going for another one. Looks like we may well be going for another safety car lap here. We have only done 2, so it makes sense. It's always a disaster though when the safety car pulls in really late and then you can't go until the timing line. I hate that. So probably best doing another one anyway. Are we going to see anybody else pit? I mean, for Ronaldinho and for... Yeah, I was going to say, for... This is a good strategy. Going back onto hards here, you can go to the end. They're gonna be rough. But yeah, I don't mind this at all. This sets up Chase for, I mean, lost 1 position, but it doesn't really matter. Probably gonna have the chance to get that back just from the extra pit stop, and has now done their compound change, so can go all the way to the end on these hards. Every safety car that comes out can stay out and gain the positions. Has a little run up to the back of the field too, to warm those tyres up a bit more than the rest of the field can, so I don't mind this at all. Chase is on for a good strategy here, I think. Now the real question is, can those hards make it all the way and still be in any way viable by the end? You would think so. I mean, 26 laps, there'll probably be another safety car at some point, you would think. Anyway, we will definitely find out. We'll keep an eye on Chase throughout the race. That rhymes too, so that's even better. So safety car should be in shortly. Snickers is going to back the pack up slightly. Have we got the message yet that it's in? It does seem to be heading off, so... Alright, looks like we're going around again. This is great. I have now officially run out of things to talk about. I don't really know why we're going around again. That could be because of the gap that was there. If I was Ronaldinho, though, I'd be going back into the pits there. Just copy what Chase is doing. This is... I mean, is this good for Champagne? I don't know. The softs are just getting worn at this point. Like... We go around again, boys. Yeah. I don't know. Safety cars, man. Alright. What do we got? What do we got in the chat? Snickers is officially threatening me at this point, which I like. Just don't spin, Hickey Cat, officially, yeah. No word on the safety car yet. Usually we've got some people at least complaining about it, me included. Although I don't understand how people type during the race. That's just me focusing, you know. Having said that, I do tend to crash after these restarts, so... So we've got a weird situation here with Jay Karibo as a ghost car, which is not as spooky as it sounds. It's just going to be rough for the people behind. But we do have the official message, safety car in this lap. Thank goodness. Let's get our replay recording ready, and let's see how we go. So we got the field warming those tyres as much as possible. Jake Aribo apologizing straight away, just in case. But we see a great restart there from Snickers and opens up a 4-second gap. That's not 4 seconds, I don't know why I said that. We've already got to crash Champagne on those soft tyres, trying to get the biggest jump possible. Has unfortunately spun at that very tricky corner, but a second gap almost opened up by Snickers here. A little bit further back we have that Aussie dude who's right on the heels of the two Ferraris here. Taking it a little wide out there. It's not a guaranteed warning though. Sometimes it will just let you do that. Chase McSoup finds one spot already. And as a reminder, you will not have to stop again. A little bit further back we have Seka moving up on this ghost car. And I'm sure Viking will be following just behind. Back up the field though we have Aussie Dude again all over the back of Wild, getting a very nice exit there. So in terms of setup, it's really comes down to who can run the lowest downforce and still make it through Sector 1. Ooh, big lockup there from Aussie Dude. Just manages to not bin it into the back of Wild, which is just fantastic. Like, you don't want that happening. KC, though, closing right up now, as is Vlad. We have Sek popping into the pits. Not sure if there's damage there. And a bit of a crash there from Aussie Dude. Finds himself in the wall. We have yellow flags. Not a safety car just yet. We will see if it escalates. Vlad on the back of KC, who got a bit of a rough exit there, really came across very deep, feints a little move onto the right, and you can kind of tell that KC, I think, has slightly better, a slightly lower downforce setup. So Vlad just can't make that overtake, but wasn't using the ERS, so we can see Vlad getting out nice and wide to make this second part of the chicane a whole lot easier. And a great exit too is probably going to result in a nice overtake happening here. Moves to the inside. KC is holding firm, has used a ton of energy though, so is going to try to send it around the outside. We'll see how Vlad responds to that. Leaves the space very nicely. And so a great move there. But this battle has allowed Wild and Aladdin to pull away a bit. So the two Ferraris working very nicely together. Chase McSoup on the hard tyres, who will not have to pit again. Up into 8th now, with just 22 laps remaining in the race. I mean, I say just, it's most of the race. But still, I think on a really good strategy here. KC, again, finding it tricky to keep tight on that long left-hander. Head up and have a quick look at Wild. Now Vlad has managed to narrow this gap down. Doesn't take too much of the left part of that chicane yet, but is in the DRS zone, and Wild is only barely hanging on to DRS in front. Is in the slipstream though. So as we probably aren't going to see a move just yet, we can potentially have a quick flick over soon to have a look at that replay of the crash. But then again, Aussie Dude is still in this and is only in 9th, so hasn't really dropped too much. So the crash has obviously not affected the car. And usually, a massive hold there from Vlad. A massive drift. That's going to affect the tyres a little bit, but just pops a wheel onto that curb. And it unsettles the rear end, but holds it fantastically. Has dropped out of DRS range though. So Wild will be able to harvest a little bit of ERS. Hasn't managed to though. Aladdin is on 60%. We have Noxie, who's keeping just in eye shot of Snickers on 60%. And Snickers himself on 50%, so hasn't managed to drop the field just yet. Now these mediums are 7 laps old, but of course we had 3 laps under safety car, so they shouldn't be too badly affected. Heading a little further back down the field now, we're going to have a quick look at Sek, who is right on the back of that Aussie Dude. He's on fresh mediums, and we may well see an overtake through this DRS zone. He's going to go out wide for the clean exit. And even before the DRS is active, has managed to go all the way up alongside. And we also see Ronaldinho getting in front of Hazahawk down into that braking zone. And Ronaldinho popping into the pit, so 6 laps all that Ronaldinho is going to try for on those mediums. The 2 Ferraris getting insanely close together. And Vlad all over the rear. So we could see an overtake here. The flashing light ahead, no ERS use from Vlad, so he's going to keep this patient. Could have this on the straight though, but with Aladdin in front providing that DRS, it's going to be a tricky overtake. Vlad is lighting, well it sounds like he's lighting those tyres up through that section. That could just be an audio bug though. Again, we have a harvesting light from Wild in front, so using a ton of ERS. Let's see what they're on. 5%, so not a lot to play with here. This is going to continue to get worse for Wild, as Vlad is staying with them without using any of the energy, any of the battery. Ooh, and a little moment there, similar to what we saw from Vlad. Moving to the inside, it's not a wise idea to go for an overtake here. Wildo is well further back than previous laps. Ooh, and that's what I was saying about that curb. Like in quali, it's usually quicker. In the race, though, it can really bite you for no reason. And that could have been the end of Vlad's race right then. So yeah, it's probably not worth going on that curb, I think. We'll see how Vlad treats that curb next lap, and if there's a bit more caution shown. So Snickers now on lap 9 with these mediums. It's being patient. So Vlad using a little bit of energy, maybe just trying to bait a bit out of Wild. Isn't going to use any more though. Now Wild moving to the inside there, needs to be careful. Once you move into the inside, I'm not sure if you're really allowed to come back over onto the racing line completely. And he's going to have to definitely be careful if Vlad is any closer. which it seems like he might be this lap. See more harvesting. This is getting very, very close. And we see the Ferraris running wide there again. It's Aladdin 2 laps in a row this time. It's Wild. And Vlad completely avoiding that curve. Very smartly. So Vlad might be in a just unwinnable situation here. Probably just needs to harvest the battery. And not bother going for a move. Especially when the two Ferraris have shown some track limit violations. It could just be that the warnings build up over time. So right now though, this is really the closest battle we have anywhere on track. Snick is still going strong with those 10-lap-old tyres, but as we can see, Noxie starting to close up by a couple of hundredths each lap. He's in second now, or still in second, but has brought the gap down to about 1.2 seconds. So this crossover point might be right on the cusp. We're going to have to flick back though to watch the two Ferraris as they're within a tenth of each other. We have yellow flags. And that is somebody at that tricky corner in Sector 3. And that was Jake Aribo. And the Ferrari's going wide again. And this is a big opportunity here for Vlad. Using that energy. We see the flashing light in front. Could have... is boxed out, unfortunately, by the Ferraris. So not really much to do there, and they play it very nicely by sort of filtering back in line with each other. Snickers has had an unfortunate moment on those mediums, so it could be that they are just getting too old at this point. So frustration there for Vlad. Had the move basically done, and then just could not get past the slower Ferrari in front without the DRS. Couldn't move to the side because of Wild there, and the Ferraris maintain their position. We don't see Snickers come in just yet, so an interesting choice there. Maybe the tyres are fine, it could just have been a mistake, and if Snickers knows that, no reason to come in just yet. We see though the Ferraris again side by side, and that is incredibly unfortunate for Vlad. Wild there just taps Aladdin, I believe, when Aladdin gets a rough exit. KC has taken full advantage of that. We should see an overtake here from Vlad, as Aladdin does not have the DRS, but could just have the faster straight line speed. Is gonna fake a move to the outside, cut back inside, sends it up the inside, gets the move done, but Aladdin of course has the inside for the next corner, which turns back into the outside for 2 in a row, and Vlad will have this move finished with that very tight chicane. Aladdin yields and also picks up a penalty. We have a DNF from Jake Aribo in the pits, so he won't be getting a safety car for that. And that was some huge moves there from Vlad. And finally, the frustration and the patience, rather, pays off. Aladdin now bleeding positions and will be pitting. Same with Vlad, so Wild 2 is going to pit. Vlad picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits. Very rough there after all that hard work. He's going to give that position straight back and serve that 5-second penalty straight away. So the two Ferraris will yet again be side by side on track, but this time inverted. We see, I think has a hawk, maybe having a bit of a rough time at that second to last corner, and is going to come into the pits on the 12 lap old hards. Snickers, on the other hand, still going strong on the 13 lap old mediums, and just after that incident was at about a 2-second gap to Noxie in front. Even though these mediums are probably beyond their best days, has managed to claw back about 4/10. Has used a ton of energy though, with 4% left, and Noxie in front on 60%. The race is probably going to continue getting easier for Noxie, who's yet to go onto the softer compound. If we head back a little bit though, my boy Chase McSoup is up in the 5th, and a 1.5 second gap to the Viking. Tyres obviously are hanging in there okay. 14 laps to go, doesn't need to pit. Viking does, KC does, Noxie does, Snickers has. So 13 laps on the mediums is the limit for Snickers. We do see Aladdin now DNFing in the pits. So not sure what happened there. So there we go, the action. It's somewhat slowed down. Great move there. Yeah, it really was. I've got the replay of that, so if we get a safety car or a moment of peace, we might flick back through and have a little look at it. I think it could be rather a long replay though, so definitely want to wait for the right time. Chase McSoup though, keeping the gap to Viking at about 1.5 seconds. Viking with 10% on the battery. 2-second gap to KC ahead, who has 9.5 to Noxie. Sek though, on these 10 lap old mediums, is going to be in a rough situation. Could be going for a 2-stopper. Probably is. We have KC though, I think, has just come a cropper in that sector 1, and Sek looks for the inside. KC going slow on those hot tyres. Sek is going to send it all the way up the inside, and a very clean move there. Is going to give up DRS here, but maybe with the cleaner exit could just out-drag KC on the straight. Snickers just behind is going to want to be in the DRS zone of anyone very quickly. KC struggling to hit that apex and running wide again. It looks to me like these tyres are still a bit hot. And Snickers catching at a rate of knots right now. Could be some damage on the front too. Snickers almost within a second already. Snickers getting incredibly close to the wall there. Isn't going to pick up the DRS. So KC pits with the 15 lap old mediums. Noxie and Viking though still going around on those same tyres. Same with Chase, who finds himself in 3rd now with a charging Sek behind on the mediums. Using a bit of energy on the straights just to maintain the gap. Sek though, without using energy, is catching, so Sek clearly running the lower downforce setup here, and is going to get all the way within a second of the car in front. The red light flashing of Chase could indicate that this overtake is coming up. Taking all of that curb. We can see the Viking just up the road ahead. The Sek has used a little bit of the energy, but is relying on the DRS and the car setup, and is going to get a very clean move done there. Noxy in the pits, 16 laps. Viking covering it off. Chase also going to pit. No, Chase. Go for the long stint. So Chase could be seeing something on the tyre wear that we're not. I think with 11 laps to go though, like, why would you not stay out, wait for a safety car? It's a gamble for sure, but could be worth it. But we'll see. So Sek now finds himself in first. 12 lap old mediums. 11 laps to go, is definitely going to have to pit again. You would hope so. Snickers finds himself ahead of Noxy. So the advantage to pitting first, of course, is that Snickers comes out, warms the tyres up, and manages to create a little bit of a gap. But Noxy, even though has only just come out of the pits, is already closing this gap, and it hasn't even been a full lap yet. So these tyres are not as warm as they could be. Snickers is going to have to get a move on. Can't be letting Noxy close into DRS range here. You would think that as soon as Noxy does, that could be the race pretty much wrapped up, barring some sort of disaster. So he's in that DRS range already, within one lap. Of course, Snickers was almost 2 seconds down on Noxy at the time of pitting. It's on harder compound tyres, they're slightly older, so we could see this move pretty much straight away. Bit of a change of positions there from the two Astons. And a great exit there from Noxy. Isn't using the ERS. Just got the slipstream, the rear wing open. Moves to the outside. And Snickers isn't going to go for it up the inside. Gets very close though. Fifth through there by Noxy. That is very interesting. Looking for maximum stability. You've got to imagine though sacrificing a little bit of speed. Snickers not using the energy but has the DRS. Noxy though burning a little bit and almost opening up that full second. A little bit further back we have Chase on the rear of the Viking, who is coming across just a little bit. We'll have a look at Viking's perspective. He's going to try around the outside, but Chase pretty much parks the car right on the apex there and doesn't leave Viking with the chance to switch back. So very nice car positioning there from Chase. Viking though still in that DRS zone, following nice and close on similar tyres. Snickers though has been dropped, so 1.5 seconds, no DRS. We have a yellow flag, and that is Aussie Dude, who has unfortunately gone around in that Sector 2 chicane. Sek is coming up on the back of these Aston Martins, although we do have Aussie Dude retiring there. So this could be rough. This is right on the straight. and we're about to see the front runners go past. Hopefully this doesn't trigger a safety car or anything like that. No, seems like we might be okay. So just how long is Sek going to stay out on these mediums? Is he going to go to the end? Because you wouldn't think that that would really be possible. But, you know, why not? If it's a chance at a win, might as well, I guess. Or could just be waiting for the right time to switch on to soft tyres and make a charge later on. Viking still holding on to the back of Chase. Only just, though. The gap is creeping up to the sort of 9/10 area. Chase with the flashing light, though, so Viking knows he has the ERS advantage here. Both cars got to be looking up ahead as well at Vlad with that 5-second penalty. Viking closing up now, about a half second. The gap from Snickers to Noxie getting larger and larger. Viking with the short shifts there, trying to get maximum traction. We see Sek is coming into the pits at this point, so should see some soft tyres here. Yeah, okay, we eventually do see the soft tyres. I thought they were just putting rims on there. But no, apparently does have a tyre attached. Vlad also coming into the pits, serving that time penalty, as we can see. The suspense. And go. Somehow managed to take soft tyres off the car, even though he had mediums on. So Vlad will be pitting, getting rid of that 5-second penalty and coming out for a bit of a charge. A safety car would, of course, help to close the pack up a bit. Viking, using the energy, has the rear wing open and just completely gets past. An ascend up the inside there from Chase. A little bit of contact. Chase absolutely went for it there. That was sick. Gotta respect the aggressive driving. Viking, though, pulling away very well from that exit. We can see, though, Chase with that rear wing opening up is going to slowly creep back forward. We don't want to see too much of a send, though, as long as it's kept nice and respectful. Wild now popping into the pits. 8 laps on the mediums. That feels very rough to be pitting now. The soft tyres, of course, going on. Sek managing to come back up into 3rd now. Big gap, though, to close. 10 seconds, 10.5 seconds. It's going to be pretty tricky. But Vlad and Wild, the battle is back on. Is it? Maybe not. 16 seconds. I mean, the cold tyres of Wild could come into effect here. We could see this gap come down to 5 by the end of the lap, but we'll see. We'll ride on board with Vlad, see how well these tyres are coming online. Runs just a little bit wide there. Purple Sector 1 could be witnessing a fastest lap attempt here too. Not using the ERS though. Sek managing to take about 2 seconds out of Snickers this lap. So if he keeps on like that, there's definitely a chance at a second place or even a first place. Very clean Sector 2 there from Vlad. And is managed to get it down to about 8 seconds, but we shouldn't see Wild under too much of a threat. Heading all the way back up to the Viking now on the back of Chase, who's trying to hold on to a fourth place, which is really good when you consider the difficult situation to pit twice on the first lap under safety car, of course. KC pops out with some fresh softs. It's getting very, very late in the race to be putting on new tyres. If we see Ronaldinho pit, that's probably going to tilt me. Stay out, please. Keep the points. But 16 is a rough number. So are we going to see Viking make a move? Is Viking just going to continue to harvest ERS and try and make a last lap move? We see Sek is really closing up in front. Chase using the energy is on 16%, so the Viking is going to be coming into the last few laps with a big advantage here. Has the DRS, the ERS, and if he's patient, could potentially pick up a fourth place here. Alright, so the gap between Sek and Snickers was at about 5.5 seconds crossing the line. It's already down to just under 5 seconds, so and now down to 4.5. Vlad pitting, strangely. Not sure what the go is for that. So Sek really chipping into this gap here. So Snickers is got to be looking at this and thinking, please God no. Getting chased down like this on hard tires is scary, because especially when you're in a good spot, like you don't want to push and make a mistake, but also you don't want to be leaving time out on the track when you've got somebody just doing time trial laps essentially for the rest of the race. So we could see this happen. 2 seconds taken out of the time already. 2.5 seconds this lap. So 2.5 seconds Sek has managed to take out of Snickers' time this lap. Only needs another 2 of those and will be in front. Probably not enough to be catching up to Noxy unless those mediums start to fall off very quickly. These softs should comfortably go to the end without too much of a drama. The last lap might be a little slower, but probably not too much. Go the Viking. Yeah, let's check back in with the Viking, who is playing it very patient. 40% ERS to 10. Still in the DRS zone, so Viking with what is always for him a patient, measured strategy. Nice and consistent, not doing anything crazy. Build up the ERS, force the car in front to use some defending, and then just probably going to glide past on the second to last lap or the final straight. We see Wild there with a DNF in the tricky finish to Sector 2. We do see KC about to come through there and yellow flags being waved, so hopefully we don't see a safety car. That is a rough place to have that car parked. We're going to see Vlad come through there too. Please, no crashes. Oh, Vlad just barely scraping by that. We're going to see one more car come through, although Sek is gaining very quickly. We're going to see it. No, the car is gone. We're going to flick forward and see Sek, who has now managed to get to 4/10. But we do see there Hazza Hawk giving the DRS to Snickers, so incredibly lucky for Snickers there. But Sek with these tyres can probably make a move around the corner. Was that some contact on the wall there by Snickers? I'm not sure, but this exit here is critical for Snickers. Has to get it perfect. And does a fairly good job. 20% ERS to 26%. Snickers is going to have to hold on to quite a bit for the rest of this race. So we see 20% on Sek, 22 on Snickers, so it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. 2 more laps to go. This is our second to last lap. Viking also closing up a bit. When are we going to see these moves happen? Sek can afford to go whenever. Viking is probably going to have to pick a good DRS zone where he's not going to get retaken pretty much straight away. So Sek, we might see this move happen here, because I reckon the speed difference in Sector 2 is just going to be so much that I don't know that Snickers is going to battle this back. So not using the ERS at all, either of them. The DRS is enough. Viking not making the move just yet, is closing a little bit. Snickers has got to take this back straight away. So he's going to need another perfect exit here. He's using some energy. Those softs are so grippy though. Gets the rear wing open. I just don't know that it's going to be enough. It's going to be really rough trying to get an overtake in the next one, and overshoots that quite a bit. Trying to be late on the brakes. Viking with 60% ERS. The patience is killing me right now. Like, at some point you just gotta go, Viking. Please. So is he gonna make the move on the final DRS straight? It's risky, especially if Chase can manage to keep ahead. Surely Viking goes for it on this long straight in Sector 2 and then just defends in Sector 3, but I'm not quite sure. Snickers is going to have the DRS, yes, but 3% ERS, this is not going to go Snickers' way, so Sek up into second, and we see Viking using the energy, the red light flashing ahead, 40%. DRS open, cuts to the outside, is all kinds of in front. Are we going to see another send? No, we don't. We got a fastest lap from Vlad. We're going to follow on with Viking's rear wing for the rest of this race and have a little look and see what kind of move Chase can manage. The ERS is too strong, I think. Oh, Viking gets DRS. Okay, that's it. So Noxie crosses the line with a well-deserved first place. Sek battles back to get second. Snickers manages third. Viking will, undoubtedly get the fourth place. Very unfortunate for Chase there to have Viking with the DRS open too, but probably wasn't going to get that. Literally behind him to hurry up and overtake. Yeah, look, the patience is crazy. But you know, played it tactically, did it at the right time. I mean, it turned out that it was the absolute perfect overtaking move because got the DRS on the back straight from a back marker, so you can't beat that. Vlad, I think, is definitely going to pick up the fastest lap for the last lap that they finished. So we have Chase in 5th, KC in 6th, Vlad about to cross the line with the fastest lap point in 7th, and hit a nice bit of wheel movement there. And Ronaldinho on 22 lap old hards. Thank you, Ronaldinho. I respect the long stint. Comes home in 8th with a quite a good result there, I think. That's a weird tyre strategy, and making it into the points is that's very decent. Good stuff. Alright, we're going to skip the podium because we want to really quickly flick over and have a bit of a look at our replay, which is this situation with Vlad and the 2 Ferraris. We see them, I think, clash here. Yeah, and then Vlad just gets sandwiched. KC overtakes both. And such a rough situation there. But Vlad does a great job keeping calm and battling back. He's moving left and right the whole time down the straight. You see the red light flashing. And then with this, I think, huge fake to the inside, which is absolutely clutch. Like, wins that position for sure. It's really tricky to stick it around the outside there too, so does an amazing job and gets that overtake. Well done, Vlad. That's overtake of the session from me. There we go. So there's our order. Sec from 15th up into 2nd. Viking from 13th. Chase from 14th. So some big gains happening. Snickers moves down just the 1 position. And pretty clean race there. Not too much in the way of safety cars. Just that first one that was going on forever, but not bad at all. Alright, so that is the end of the stream. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for chatting too. As always, we like to thank our sponsors. We got Sully's Shirts, Sim Racing SA, and Shutter Media. Check out their websites, their links. If you want to join in with a league, jump on our website, globalracingesports.com. We are on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. Get on Discord. Join the Facebook group, especially, and send the Viking a message if you want to jump in. KC with GG Red Bulls. Yes, GG Red Bulls. Did a great job. I mean, everyone did a pretty good job that race. I think it was pretty clean from everyone. All right. So thanks for tuning in, guys. That is all from me. We'll see you again next week. It's Spain next week for the Hakkinen series. So yeah, we'll see you again next week. Same time. And yeah, thanks for joining us.